Welcome to another horrid episode of the apocalypse. I'm so glad you're here, all zero of you. Anyway, it is too late. The choice has already been made. You have chosen the apocalypse. Therefore, I have been activated. I am known in the nether realms as Second Death, or Death 2 for short. And I was quietly relaxing, smoking by the lake, when the alarm sounded and the morons chose the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you. A bloody gayin. It appears that Leon Scum has stepped in some doo-doo. And I'm not talking about Donnie's soiled diaper. I am talking about European doo-doo. For Leon is now under investigation for the worst offense being minors being undressed by AI. And Leon does nothing to stop it. In fact, he pushes it further. He gives the middle finger to the entire world. One day, we find out he's a bloody pedophile. The next day, he's being investigated for deploying an AI that is famous now for undressing women and underage females online. Quite a grave offense, I would say. And Leon, as is customary, has resorted to third-grade insults to deal with the problem. Because Leon's a pedophile, so he doesn't mind children being undressed by his artificial Nazi intelligence. Let's begin. Ted Lieu, recognize, and that's Mr. Lieu to you. Listen up. Mr. Lieu is speaking. And he's responding to this fucking moron. They need to put this motherfucker in a stable. They should have never let him out. He's doing horrible, this Blanche motherfucker. I guess Bondi's like, yeah, I'm not going to do the circuit because you're a goddamn pedophile and I'm looking pretty bad right now. And send fucking Blanche out. And my God, he's just been horrible. So Mr. Lieu is commenting about Mr. Blanche because since you're the pedophile posse now, since all your people up in government, and I mean all of them, motherfucker, all pedophiles, your team, your people, MAGA, they're at the point where he says this on the news in front of the entire fucking world. This is where we're at. This is how desperate they are. This is how low the bar is now. It's not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. I believe I was going to present that a few days ago, but I fell asleep. I should be sleeping now. I don't know how I'm awake, honestly. So, Deputy Attorney General for the United States said out loud, because we're at the point where they're all, even Nutlick, everybody, they're all goddamn pedophiles. Thale, Leon, Nutlick, Donnie. It's harder to find who's not a goddamn pedophile in MAGA these days. So much info has come out. I mean, it's just indisputable, son. Once again, Donnie never sues. Leon doesn't sue either. JD doesn't sue when his allegations of straight up pedophilia came out. Threatened to sue, he did not. The information got millions of views. Still up. JD Vance. Why he changed his name twice. Who isn't a goddamn pedophile in MAGA? That's why Mr. Blanche is reduced to selling his last atom of dignity in front of the entire world on the news, representing the Republican Party, representing the Reich, representing you fucking people, and you know who you are. Says, it's not a crime to party with the most prolific sex trafficker of the modern age, who is literally shaping the world with the money from the Rothschilds and everything else he had, the compromat he had over people. The allure of, you can sleep with teenage girls if you just come over my house. This man has handed everything. Do you understand that? And everything branches off of him. Everything branches off of Russia. Your whole movement of Satan, of Satanists, of sex traffickers, of pedophiles. Your entire movement. Verified, son, that's blue check mark. And you don't even have to pay $8 for it. It's not a crime to party with Epstein. Can you believe that's being said out loud by the Family Values Party? Isn't that what you people tell me about yourselves? Jesus, Bible, pro-life. Unless it's shooting a liberal in the face on the street. That's cool. That's Jesus-y. Family values. You people stand for nothing. You believe in nothing. And you're the biggest goddamn freaks of all. Whenever we see you behind closed doors, even outside of closed doors, we find out you're all goddamn pedophiles. To the point, the Deputy Attorney General of the Reich, of the New World Order, of the pedophile posse, not a crime to party with Epstein. Really? That's the standard for politicians now, huh? I mean, so what if he's a pedophile? Isn't everyone? Mr. Lou has a comment about that. And again, that's Mr. Lou to you. If a person parties with Mr. Epstein at a sex party with minors, then yes, it could be a crime if the person is patronizing. The fact that you don't know that means you should resign. Also, why did you give convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell a puppy? I love Mr. Lou. He just says the shit straight out. No sugarcoating it, straight out. That's what I like about him. He's not like other politicians. He ain't afraid to go there, son. We gave the girlfriend, the partner of the most prolific sex trafficker, not we, the Reich, moved her minimum. She's, doing yoga now. She's great. Because she got all kind of compromat on Donnie. Donnie wants to give her a pardon so bad, but he knows you people will crucify him if he does. He just wants her to go away. Because she has everything, baby. She could so bury that motherfucker. At any moment. The Clintons know something as well about him. I don't know what it is. I can tell by what he said about them. Today. They know something about his ass. I don't know what it is. I'm dying to fucking know. I hope they blab it in the fucking hearing. It probably won't be public, though. I don't know why they would agree to that. I guess they didn't want to get arrested. I don't know, for contempt or whatever. Again, the files are replete with Donnie's name, yet he's not the one in front of any committees being asked questions. It's the Clintons. The Clintons ain't ruining my life, son. Ain't ruining our country. Ain't grifting the entire treasury. Don't have masked men, masked terrorists, mass murderers going around murdering people, causing chaos in communities, gassing neighborhoods, kidnapping 5-year-olds. The Clintons didn't do that stuff. MAGA did. Your Antichrist did. I don't give a fuck about the Clintons. They ain't in charge. They ain't ruining my life. Your orange fat fuck diapered Antichrist is. He's ruining all of our lives. Most of you just don't know it yet. You will though, son. Don't worry. Everybody be crying. Trust me. Yeah, a lot of people should resign. Bondi, she's protecting pedophiles left and right. They're pulling files down that they posted. Illegal as fuck. You do remember there was the court order they had. They were supposed to release everything. They're redacting they're redacting clients and sociopaths and sick fucks. They're redacting those names. And they're showing victims' names and pictures. I don't know. If I was the judge that gave that order, man, I'd be doing whatever I had the power to do to these people. Because they just making a mockery of this whole thing. And it's becoming, I mean, by the fucking second, that Donnie is one of the sickest, most depraved pedophiles that ever walked this earth. I can't believe, again, we're at the point where the Family Values Party, the spokesman for all of you, for this weekend, whatever he did the shows, or today maybe it was, or yesterday, I can't remember. No, the day before, something like that. You people are at the point it's not a crime to party with Epstein. What happened to Pizzagate and all that? You hated the Clintons so much for Pizzagate and all that. Pedophilia, Satanism, things with children. Yet all your people are doing that stuff. And you don't care. That means you stood for nothing your entire life. You believe in nothing. And worst of all, you're of Satan right now, lest you walk another path. But most humans, let's be honest, they don't change. Because they all know better. I see you all out there. I know you all know better. You'll know better all the way to the abyss. Because that's inevitable. Either you follow Donnie to the abyss, or you walk the other fucking direction. Those are your options, that's it. He will demand it. The devil will demand it. No one will get a pass. Everyone must choose. That's the point, the moral of the incident. Everyone must choose. Again, Family Values Party, they're at the point where their highest level government person they're putting on the news for the news cycle past few days. It's not a crime to party with Epstein because the president's a pedophile and I don't know what else to say. And Bondi don't want to come out and Patel don't want to come out and Bongino quit. I don't know what else to say. It's okay to be a pedophile in MAGA. That's where you guys at. You're saying it out loud now. Congrats. Well done. I'm sure the man will be pleased with you that you're part of this whole thing. Very Jesus-y. Right, Rubes? If you think people who rape children and brag about it aren't capable of putting you in camps and killing you, you are making a terrible miscalculation indeed. You're dealing with eugenicists, Nazis, Satanists, all of it. And again, this ain't Alex Jones. I ain't selling snake oil. I ain't saying that for fun. I ain't saying that for views and clicks and likes and because it's going to enhance my life in some goddamn way. In fact, it will harm it, me saying this on camera. I'm saying it because it happens to be our sad, pathetic, current fucking reality. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I'd be sleeping. That's what I'd be doing. If you knew, just what we've seen is goddamn horrific. What Bondi took down the other day, the worst allegations, bodies buried on golf court, other shit like that. That's what they snatched down real quick. Luckily, everyone got shots of it. I presented it to you, and I didn't give you the details, though. That tells me that's true. That tells me worse than that is true. Again, you can't imagine the sickness, the Satan going on behind closed doors with these children and Donnie and these people. I've seen the emails, son. I really like the torture video was one of them. That name's redacted. 'Cause Satan. That's what you're witnessing before you with these people. Bondi, Nutlick, Donnie, Besson, all of it. Satan! That's what you're seeing. That's what you're witnessing. I really enjoyed the torture video. The littlest of girls was naughty. That's what they showed us, son. Imagine what the fuck they ain't showing us. Again, this goes to such a deep level of evil, most people can't comprehend it. Because most people aren't in that world. They can't imagine that world. Unless it's Alex Jones pointing and liberals saying it out loud. That world. Unfortunately, Alex and his people are that world. Donnie is that world. That horrid nightmare you thought of liberals for several decades, however old you are, wherever you learned it from, I don't care. Irrelevant. Completely backwards. MAGA, Donnie, Epstein, Thale, Musk, Zuckerberg, Nutlick. Those people. Let me put it this way. This probably won't help, but I'll say it anyway. It's so bad what these people are into and the evil I knew they were capable of 10 years ago. Why I've been yelling for 10 years for nothing. Wasting my goddamn time. That's how dire it is. And I knew it then. It's so bad. You don't want to know. And you know, son, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to know. But I know it's that bad. Why? Because they let us see. This is how I know. Because they let us see 2 emails specifically and many more. But 2 stand out to me right now as people are going through them. I really enjoyed the torture video, and that name is blacked out. Could be Donald Trump for all I fucking know. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. The throwing rocks at babies guy wouldn't surprise me in the fucking least. The Antichrist wouldn't surprise me in the least. If that's his name. Blacked out there. And the littlest of girls was naughty. That name was blacked out. They had a good time, though. That's also what they said in that email. One of them said, I'm glad I didn't kill anyone. Because I guess they've done that before at these types of parties. I'm not joking. I'm not adding words to it. I've been looking at these things all day. That's how I can just pull them out of my mind and give them to you. Again, son, if that's what they let you see, imagine you don't want to know. I don't want to know. All I need to know is they gonna goddamn burn for it. That's all I need to know. It's proven now. We know the names. We know who's been there. We know who's lying and been lying. We know, based on what we've seen, some of it utterly satanic, horrific. That what we haven't seen must be a lot worse. So, these people, if you think they are not capable of putting you in camps, Epstein preached it in emails, back to tribalism, blah, 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 eugenics. They believed it before we knew who they were. This is their worldview. You know where they got it from? Satan. Literally. You don't know what you're dealing with. Again, I do. That's why I've been yelling for 10 years. Understand what's coming, son. Leon. It's about time, Europe. Police units specializing in cybercrime with support from Europol have raided the French offices of Leon Scum's social media platform X. The Paris prosecutor said the action is part of an investigation into content recommended by X's algorithm, which has now been expanded to include the platform's AI chatbot Grok. Authorities added that Leon Scum and former ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino have been summoned to appear at hearings in April as part of the probe. X has not issued a response. Oh, sure they did. Leon's been talking shit on different European leaders and the leader of Spain because they're going to do something too. Remember, class? I said months ago, I said it out loud to Europe, you need to shut it down, man. You need to watch the Russians in your country. You need to get rid of as many as possible. You people love deporting people, right? And America too. I'm sorry, it just needs to be done. Send them back to Russia. It's great, right? Russia's great, right? These people need to be removed back to their countries because a lot of them are mob and in league with Donnie and people like that. X needs to be done away, banned, so the Russian propaganda can't reach your population anymore. You need to monitor your other social media outlets and you need to set standards. No bots, not one. No bot farms. They want to hire human trolls in the thousands, they got to pay that bill. You'll still have way less on your website. You need to do that. That's if we really wanted to fix this problem. Any leaders sympathizing with Russia in all the countries around the world, because Vlad has them everywhere now at this point. Every single country. Any Russian sympathizers running for government, you need to get rid of those people. Ban them from the race. That's what needs to happen to fix this problem. None of you will ever do it. I know that. A start is to ban X. That way Vlad and Leon's bots and armies can't reach your people because he's incited all kind of violence on your continent. You need to handle that problem because Donnie ain't going to handle. He's in league with Leon. They Nazis. They want to take over the world, son. They want to give Vlad Europe. You understand that, right? France, United Kingdom, all of you. You better take some action. Maybe arrest this man when he shows up in April if he's brave enough. Before it's too late. And it's already too late, never mind. That's the advice I would give if we had a chance. But I know we don't. And I know the Europeans, they have balls. They're doing something, but they don't have that kind of balls. At the very least, just ban X. It's the only thing he responds to. Brazil did it. Leon came right to the table begging. Because the point of X is to propagandize you, your children, blah, blah, blah. Vlad's, you know, your other websites, if you don't want to ban them, the ones run by Google and all that, you got to do away with the bots. And if you catch them deploying large numbers of bots on their website, well, fines, shutdowns. It's the only way to fix it. I know you won't, though, but Leon's under investigation, and a good portion of the investigation is because minors are being undressed online by his grok. So again, yesterday we find out Leon's a pedo, for sure. And then we find out today that he's being investigated for, pedo-type activity. Paris prosecutors raid France offices of Elon Musk's ex. That's BBC, baby. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. This is Jim Stewartson giving us a history lesson here. Wow, Epstein's personal black hat hacker, Vincenzo Lasso, sent Epstein a link to Guccifer 2 on June 15, 2016. And a quote from Epstein, "Fun, but only important ones would be Hillary's secret." That tells me something, and what Epstein, his beliefs, now that I know them. Who he's in league with, Russia, Israel, or Netanyahu. Donnie, people like that. I'm getting the vibe that he was against the Clintons. Again, he helped that whole Assange thing happen. Him fail, Russia. Lasso, think you need to wait for WikiLeaks for those. How does he know? 40 days later, they were on WikiLeaks. Julian Assange was a Russian asset the whole time. You understand that, right? I don't trust Vlad Putin. So if Vlad has a plan about leaking things about America, that bothers me. Because he has an agenda behind that. And he won. His agenda worked. You fell for it. You cried Pizzagate for 20 years. And then when you realized all the top people that you voted for were literal pedophiles, you're just going along. It appears Epstein and his people and Thales' people and Russia were all in league, and Assange is a Russian asset, and this was all an op. And you fell for it. Now your country's over. That's a promise, son. Put it in the bank. And the world, too. That's the result of allowing these fucking pedophile sociopaths, utterly of Satan, to have the reins to the greatest empire that ever existed on this planet. That's the danger. They could end the empire, and that's their plan, son. That was Epstein's plan. Back to tribalism. No globalism. That's MAGA. But what you don't get is the only real globalism that was ever going to happen. Little children. Let Daddy tell you a story. Was the devil and the Antichrist. It wasn't the liberals. They were not the New World Order. You are. MAGA, Donnie, Vlad, Thale, Leon, Karp, Zuckerberg, etc. That's what Mr. Epstein didn't understand who his best friend was. He didn't realize his best friend was the Antichrist. Although Epstein did realize Donnie's the most evil motherfucker I've ever seen. He did understand that. So again, what Mr. Epstein didn't understand as him and Donnie had conversations about how globalism is an evil liberal scheme is that he was talking to the Antichrist. And globalism is his literal plan. Again, you don't remember in a dementia moment, I notice shit like this because I know what the plan is behind all the bullshit that comes out that burger hole at you. I already knew the plan before these cunts won. He said we need open borders. Do you remember that? He didn't say that by accident. They don't want borders anymore. And they want to bring a slave workforce from wherever they can get it. Borders stand in the way of that. And they want a regional oligarchy, the technocracy map, where the entire hemisphere is one unit that they can exploit. But again, they don't understand that Donnie's the Antichrist. He wants it all. And guess who's behind him? The devil. He wants it all, son. They want to take it global. What's that called? Globalism, globalization. One world kingdom. Everything you said the liberals would do. The New World Order. Everything you said the liberals would do, son. No, it was you. You are the movement. You made it happen. You preach its gospel. Because you never believed anything. It's astounding. It's the irony, just the whole thing. It's incredible. So Donnie will be the head of the one world kingdom. Pretty much is now. That's been the devil's dream since the beginning of time. Also to be omnipresent. Never before was that possible. The digital world makes that possible. AI makes that possible. That a philosophy can be spread and enforced and omnipresent. Never before has that been possible. The devil is not God. He cannot be omnipresent. Thanks to man and the satanic knowledge Satan gave them. We're at the point where AI can go forth and do things and say things for us. They could deploy things too, if we want them to. They never sleep. It can be omnipresent. One algorithm. Programmed to be Satan. You think I'm kidding? An omnipresent psyche of evil when you reduce it down to its lowest form. So the only globalization that was ever going to happen, little tiny children that know nothing, and I mean nothing, was this movement right now, and never before was a global kingdom even fucking possible. And that's where the devil and Donnie want to take it, no matter what Thal's dream is, no matter what Epstein's dream is, no matter what MAGA's dream is. Because globalization equals bad, right, Roops? That's what I heard from you. Now you preaching it. Now you are it. You are the New World Order, like I said. And again, I'm not saying that because I'm a evil liberal or anything. Your reality. That's simple. Doesn't matter if you agree. That is our reality. You are the NWO. The highest people in the world are starting to say it out loud, too. That's how dire this shit is. That's how real it is. One more time, and then I got to move on or take a break or something. The only globalization that was ever going to take place was the Antichrist being the one world king for about 5 minutes till the real Christ lets everybody know. Never the liberals, Bill Clinton, all that, Jimmy Carter, Barack Obama. They'll be the ones that get locked up, assholes. How do you explain that? I know, they were the deep state, right? No, Donnie and his people, MAGA, Epstein, failed. My God, the things they were talking about and doing. That's the deep state, son. You know, the people you put in power. Epstein was playing you people like a fiddle for years. Russia, too. Got you to hand over the keys for nothing. End of your nation, end of your world. Etch it in granite. That's how certain I am. The good parts, again, I am not as certain of because I've never seen those. I wasn't alive when Jesus walked the earth and saw the miracles. If I had, if they were real, then I understand why the apostles went to their horrible deaths, because I'm sure the devil made it as horrible as possible. And that's why he will burn. And that's automatic, guaranteed. So, Lotso and Epstein discussing how to fuck up Hillary with WikiLeaks and the Russian asset Assange. I'll be right back. What is actual globalization? What is described in Revelation? That's what it is. All you conspiracy theorists out there that are looking at the Freemasons and looking at this and looking at that. Look, it was right in the Bible the whole time. Globalization of Satan. Satan's dream. That's what your boy's doing right now. Who is into honoring thyself more than Donnie? Have you ever seen someone honor themselves more? Have you ever seen anyone that wanted all titles, all honors, all trophies, all prizes, all glory, all money, all praise? I've never seen something like him. That's how I know again. He's different. So globalization, actual globalization, all the things Alex Jones said over the years, one world government, no real borders, one world currency, one world king. Where does this idea come from? I've been pondering that. I think we all pretty much know. They're starting to say the phrase New World Order. Carney's warning us of New World Order. So what is the New World Order? It's a a Nazi Satanist movement, a white supremacist movement. George Bush Sr. was obviously part of it. That's how I know the CIA has a Nazi problem. And I know the CIA is a right-wing group, nationalist Nazis. That's what right-wing is. Where does the phrase come from? It's on our money. What accompanies that phrase on our money? No, what does it say? Novus Ordo Seclorum, something like that. I didn't plan on saying this. What accompanies that is a pyramid, an eye. George Washington's symbol was the obelisk again. So if the phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum accompanies those Freemasonic symbols from ancient Egypt, from Satan, then what is the New World Order? What is this globalist idea? Where does it really come from? Does it come from liberals? No. It comes from right-wing nationalist Freemasons. They give the game away. Again, whatever the Freemasons say they are, they give the game away via their symbols. I did videos about this 10 years ago. Actions speak louder than fucking words. You look at DC, you look at our money, you look at George Washington. You look at the powerful people of the world. You look at the symbol for George Washington. We know Washington was a Freemason. Come on. He's the Jesus of Freemasonry. Why do you think he gets the obelisk as his symbol? Why do you think he gets that monument in DC that is an obelisk, an ancient Egyptian symbol? That goes hand in hand with the pyramid, the eye, Freemasonry, the whole fucking thing. What else does it go hand in hand with? Novus Ordo Seclorum. Therefore, what do we have? What is globalism? What is the Satanist globalist kingdom? The one world government, the one world currency. Where does that idea come from? The Freemasons. Obviously. And obviously, George Bush Sr. was one of them. And he wanted to be the man. That's why he gave that speech. But he wasn't the man. Donnie was, unfortunately. What does this also tell us? Logically, this idea had been around way before George Bush Sr.'s son. This idea had been around since George Washington, at least. And if they were about it back then, the Freemason thing, those symbols, Novus Ordo fucking Seclorum. If they were about it back in George's day, they already knew about it. The whole structure of Freemasonry was well established by that point. The ideas, the philosophy, the texts. Obviously. So what does that mean logically? That this idea goes back further than George fucking Washington. And so do the Freemasons. And where do they take all their symbols from? That tells you what it's born of. They take all their symbols from ancient Egypt, from Satan. Freemasons take an interest in the darker elements of the person called Solomon. There are many different books that talked about how Solomon was doing things he should not have been doing, summoning demons, shit like that. Solomon's downfall, although he was the wisest ever, according to God. Women, my downfall as well. My God, the damage. I'm not disparaging women. I'm just saying that's my downfall. Just like Solomon. What did Solomon do? 1,000 wives, 700 concubines, something like that. But what's pointed out as the sin, as the problem, he started worshiping other gods that some of these women were into. One of the things, if not the thing that God hates most, actually, the worship of another god besides him. Hates it. There are many ways to do that. And then there's outright, I'm a pagan, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a wizard, I'm a witch. I'm a Satan worshiper. I'm a Stoic. I'm an agnostic. I'm spiritual. I don't believe in Jesus. I'm spiritual, though. And you have to look at it this way. I'm not judging people. I'm saying this. Again, if there is a God over us and he created every single one of us because he's God, and you're worshiping another God, he might be offended by that. And again, it's the analogy, if I gave you $1 million and you thank the person next to me for the $1 million, even though I gave it to you, I might be offended by that. He gave you life, he created you, he is God. You worship something else, he's offended highly by that. Again, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying how he sees it. By the commandments, we know this. And what happened to Solomon? He became a madman out in the woods. The money went away. The women went away. God cursed him. Went out in the wilderness, a madman. Because he worshipped other gods. Even though he was the wisest man in the world. Isn't that amazing? So it appears to me The New World Order is a racist movement, is a satanic movement, literally. That's not a literally. That's where the symbols come from. They lead straight to Satan. He is the origin of them. So it's a Freemasonic, Nazi, racist, globalist, satanic movement. That's where the idea comes from. Is Donnie a Freemason? I don't know. For some reason, I don't think he is. But he could be. The idea, though, originally from Satan, the Freemasons somehow latched onto the Solomon, ancient Egypt, Satan trip. We control the world. We get the good positions in life. Guaranteed. There's no competition. That's why you're a Freemason. That's why you make that deal. And you're making a deal when you become a Mason. You understand that. I'm sure the ones that have been there a while, they understand that. You're making a deal with something other than God, obviously by the symbols where it all originates. And the dream of the devil since the dawn of time, you understand that. The devil's only wanted worship, you to look at him as God, worship him as God. Take what is God's, take the glory of Christ, the seat of Christ, via his Antichrist. That's all he's ever wanted. And that's what's happening before your eyes right now. That's where all this is going. Satan's chance to rule outright and be omnipresent, one world government, one world rule, a satanic reign, one world kingdom, one world king. That's what you're witnessing before your eyes. And again, the origins of this idea indisputably come from Freemasonry. Novus Ordo Seclorum, New Order of the Ages. George Bush Sr., New World Order. Mark Carney, Mr. Hassett, others, New World Order. And I'm not saying Carney's part of it. I know he's not. He's warning us. He's telling us what's happening. But son, this isn't just a movement of Freemasonry that you heard about on Alex Jones. And it ain't the liberals, and it never was. Put that right the fuck out your head. They're the ones that are going to get executed and locked up. Just like Nazi Germany. The element, what you don't understand, is this is the real time. This is what overarches it all, is a thing called Satan, a literal entity that's desired godship. So it ain't just a bunch of Freemasons. It ain't just a New World Order. It ain't just a one world currency and government and king. It is the reign of Satan for a time. 42 months to be exact. I don't know when that starts, though. That is what is happening before your eyes. Again, I take no pleasure in saying all that. I just analyze what it looks like, and that's what it looks like. But again, it's not just something you see on Alex Jones. It is the literal ruination of the world and America. And it's the reign of the devil, son. It's atrocities will take place you can't imagine. like people being put in camps, not illegal aliens. Not that that's good either. Let me move on. I didn't mean to say any of that, and I didn't mean to be on this long. I've barely gotten into this stuff. Miramar Martinez is the woman that was shot 5 times, and forgive me for getting her name so many times, but I'm looking at so much information, and the other executions we saw on camera, so they stand out a bit more in the mind and come to the forefront more. I believe some footage will eventually come out regarding this as well, if she gets her way. She testified today, and it's exactly what I thought it was. They hit her car. They filled her full of lead to make the problem go away. They rushed her out of the hospital. They tried to make her a criminal. Tried to get her locked up. Miramar Martinez was shot 5 times in Chicago and charged with ramming her car into the vehicle of Border Patrol. They lied about her, said she attacked them. Into the vehicle of the Border Patrol agent who shot her, but a judge dismissed those charges in a remarkable reversal. New surveillance video shows it was the agent who sideswiped Martinez. It looks like CNN showed some of the footage. I didn't watch it. I don't need to. I never needed to see the footage. I knew it exactly what it was when I heard the woman's car got hit and she got shot 5 times. I know what the Gestapo are. They're rapists, criminals, murderers, thugs, scumbags, lake fodder. I know what they are. And I know exactly what happened when I heard the story. They destroyed this woman's car and figured we'll just fill her full of holes and call her a terrorist and go about our day, and then we're absolved. In the closet, Mikey Johnson. They asked him about Donnie saying he wants to nationalize elections, rig elections. We had 3 Republican candidates who were ahead on election day and last cycle, and every time a new tranche of ballots came in, they just magically whittled away until their leads were lost. It looks on its face to be fraudulent. Can I prove that? No, it's not fraudulent. You know what that's called, son? Counting all of the ballots. This is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard. Our candidate had a lead until we counted all the ballots, and then they didn't. Yeah, that's called an election, yeah. Somehow that's wrong now in MAGA fucking pedo in the closet world. The fuck is wrong with you people? What is Mikey really saying? The GOP was not ever but greed and hate. And as we've gotten into modern times over the decades, by the second, more and more people wake up to that fact that the GOP is only greed and hate. And they're horrible for the country, so they can't win elections. That's what Mikey's saying. So we got to cheat. That's what he's saying. Literally. Mr. Lou, recognize. Rep. Lou demands Deputy Todd Blanche be fired. Yesterday he said essentially that it's not a crime to party with Jeff Epstein. If Jeff Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties and you show up and patronize the establishment at the party, yes, you're guilty. Damn fucking right you are. Everybody knew what kind of party they were going to. It wasn't a secret among the circle. Thank you, Mr. Lou. Donnie talking about the ballroom because Donnie would definitely build a ballroom for someone else, right? This beautiful building will be complete the much, excuse me, when complete, the much anticipated White House ballroom, the greatest of its kind ever built, is a rendering from the Treasury building directly across the street, replaces a very small, dilapidated and rebuilt many times East Wing with a magnificent new East Wing. I'm not reading the rest. How's the farm doing? Are your bills paid? How's your rent doing? Your mortgage, your kids' college fund? You making enough at work? You working? Because in the modern world, you got to have permission to work, son. Did you ever notice that? I did. Let's not read the rest. That's what Donnie's thinking about the ballroom and not you. Like I said, who likes to honor themselves more? So do you really think he's building a ballroom and redoing the Kennedy Center for other people? No, that's for his world reign when he announces that he's never leaving and I'm king of the world. He needs that bunker, too, for when you people start rioting once you realize you've been utterly fucked. Mr. Liu again. Fucking recognize. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche needs to resign. He got the law wrong about patronizing sex parties with alleged child trafficking. He failed to redact names of victims and pictures of children. And he moved Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum security prison and got her a puppy. Straight up. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I love about Mr. Liu. No sugar. Blunt. Just says it. I love it. Okay, here's Donnie. Today, and some reporters brought up some questions that, Donnie didn't really like. I don't like this. Are you open to negotiating on warrants when it comes to ICE? This is an ask from Schumer. Trump, meaning? What do you mean warrants? What the fuck is a warrant? What is this, America or some constitution? Fuck you talking about? I'm Adolf goddamn Hitler. What the fuck are you talking about? Requiring search warrants for ICE, they clarify. Due process, rule of law, America, fairness. Gestapo and mass can't just with machine gun just kick down your door without a warrant for no reason. What used to be normal, cunts. And you know who I'm talking to. Donnie, I haven't thought about it. I'm not thinking about search warrants. Yeah, I know, motherfucker. That's why I'm yelling. Again, morons out there. You want a mass police force to be able to just walk in your fucking door anytime they want to? And you can't do shit. Again, they already got your guns, son, and you know how? I'm going to explain it to you again. You fucking dumb hillbillies. 5150. Bondi sat right next to him, just like he said it in front of all you fucking morons. We need open borders. He said that out loud in front of you. Because I know that's part of the plan. And he didn't mean to say that. That was a dementia moment. Giving the game away. He also gave the game away, and I could tell how tepid the way he said it. He knew you people might come to the White House with pitchforks. You Second Amendment people when he said it. Not the liberals. Bondi was sitting right next to him. Hillbillies that love guns. And she had the proclamation. And Donnie said, so we can just, if they're not right in the head, we can just go in and take the guns. We don't have to, it's much faster. We don't got to go through the court. We can just go in and take the guns, morons. My God, you people are fucking stupid. I know, it had to be the black guy that was going to take your gun. I know. Wrong, asshole. The black guy wanted you to have freedom. Dumb. cunts. The orange guy is the Antichrist. He wants to subjugate every motherfucker. He wants to be able to execute you if you say, he's an asshole. Be ye rube or not, don't matter. He wants to be worshipped as God. Obama wanted you to have free health care. Oh my God, string them up. Right, Satanists, pedophile worshipers that preach a gospel of evil and say it's good, literally prophesied about you thousands of years ago. God knew you were a moron then that would hand over his country to a goddamn traitor, antichrist, fucking pedophile. Verified, son. Caitlin Collins. What would you say to Epstein survive? She got cut off. You are so bad. You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. They should be ashamed of you, says the pedophile. And that's why he's yelling all that stuff. Because she dared bring up your orange messiah's pedophilia. And she's the bad guy, right, Rubes? Right? That's what you'll tell me. I know. That's why your country's over. That's why the lake awaits. Because you will follow this to the abyss, and you will take his mark. And if you want to participate in the New World Order, the Antichrist beast system, Satan's kingdom, globalism, the one world government, if you want to participate, you got to take that mark, son, and that currency. That's what's coming. How dare that reporter point out that Donnie's a fucking pedophile, and maybe he should say something to the victims. Why did Donnie snap like that? Because he's a goddamn pedophile. That's why. Okay, this is Miramar Martinez again. And take a look at her. Looks surprisingly well for what she went through, my God. That's because of you. She has 5 holes in her. And she will have a memory for the rest of her life that will definitely have her PTSD the rest of her fucking life. That's what I was talking about before we got to this point, where people are being executed on the street. That a bunch of masked men coming up to your car and pulling you out. Maybe they shoot you, maybe they don't. Maybe they execute you just so they can get $1,000, whatever, and get you to a detention center for a few hours so they can charge rent to the government that you pay for, dumbass. That is a very traumatizing experience that you will carry with you the rest of your life. That don't just mess up your day, it messes up your goddamn life. Anyone that preaches this, man, there's only one place for you. I'm sorry. The fucking lake. Because if it was your ass in the car getting shot by mass police only because they hit your car, that's all, I don't think you'd be preaching the same gospel, son. Fucking disgusting what happened to this woman. I made eye contact with the driver and watched as he turned the steering wheel once again to his left and sideswept my vehicle. The next thing I knew, I felt a burning sensation in my arms, legs, and that I had been shot. I saw my life flash before me. You realize they tried to kill this woman. That was the intent. They asked Donnie another question about Epstein. And here he is with the MAGA hats or Make America, whatever. What a fucking joke. On the Epstein files, Elon Musk was in there, and so was Howard Nutlick. Did you read those new files? What if Donnie would have slipped and be like, I know Nutlick and Leon were there. I saw them at the party. I know. Donnie, no. I have a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned two names. I'm sure they're fine. I think it's time for the country to get on to something else. I bet you do, you goddamn pedophile with a shitty diaper. Mass murderer. How many little children did you bury on the golf course, Donnie? How many did you abuse? I wonder. It was just instinctive to bury your wife on the golf course, wasn't it? That's your go-to move, right, Donnie? I know. I know. What did you mean when you said you should nationalize elections? In which 15 states are you talking about? I want to see elections be honest. No, he doesn't. He wants to rig them. And if a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it. He means they should rig it. If you think about it, the state is an agent for the federal government on elections. No, it isn't. What happened to states' rights? People that believe in nothing, pedophile worshipers, Satanists. What happened? That's right, you people don't believe in anything. There is no platform besides greed and hate. You prove me right minutely. Look at Detroit, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, horrible corruption on elections. No, the corruption's that orange thing. My God, he's a pedophile, for fuck's sake. And he's just letting you know for the 90th time, I am going to rig the fuck out of the midterms. Again, it's a foregone conclusion. They can't have a blue wave. There'll probably be roundups right before then or right after when they negate the whole thing or whatever bullshit they pull and you people get out on the streets. So be prepared and the camps will be up and running. Be prepared. There will be no more elections. There is no more America. They can have an election, but it won't be an election. Do you understand that? Donnie's telling you that for the millionth fucking time. He sent Tulsi the traitor fucking Gabbard down there specifically to make sure this rigging all happens. Over. Don't pin a bit of hope on those midterms. Don't even bother. Back to Miss Martinez, they attempted to murder, literally. Agent Charles Exum, that's E-X-U-M. Charles Exum. My attempted executioner was Charles Exum. I hope the government does not consider my use of his name here to be doxing. Well, Miss Martinez, who was almost murdered by the Gestapo, attempted murder, slam dunk case, by the way. It's so good to know the person's name, Charles Exum. That's the scumbag who attempted to literally murder this woman. And again, that's E-X-U-M. And she's brave enough to show her face after what you people have done to the whole world. Talk about it. She wants the footage to be seen. You scumbag, mass murdering piece of goddamn shit. So if she's brave enough to do that, your bitch ass should be too, right? Tough guy? Charles Exum. That's E-X-U-M. Public servant. Also known as a terrorist mass murdering Gestapo. With absolute immunity, according to the ghoul, I didn't read that in the Constitution. No, that's the problem. Someone should be arresting these people. We don't have mass secret police forces in America. At least we didn't before you cunts came along. And you know who I'm talking to. Here's Donnie. They wanted me to go to jail for the rest of my life. Then it turned out I was innocent, very innocent. I have a friend who said you have to be the most honest person anywhere in the world. All that was lies. Every sentence of it. They didn't want to lock him up forever. They even slapped cuffs on him. Donnie's a criminal, rapist, pedophile, fraud, defamer, mass murderer, compulsive liar. Then it turned out I was innocent. That's a lie. Everyone knows he wasn't innocent. He was convicted on several things. And the most honest in the world, no one's ever said that to him. Sincerely. They may have said it when a camera was around or if they wanted something. No one actually believes that. All lies, every sentence. Incredible, isn't it? That's Donnie's setup. Saying they wanted to jail him for the rest of his life. He's telling you something again here. He's going to lock up his enemies. In revenge. Said it before the election. Said it before 2016 election. Lock her up was the slogan. Trump on Epstein. I think it's really time for the country to get on to something else. Nothing came out about me, Sunday. Oh, no, he didn't. 38,000 times his name is in the files that have been released so far. Son. That's a 3, an 8, a comma, and 3 fucking zeros. Cunts. Abject fucking pedophile. My God. And in MAGA dystopian fantasy world, the Antichrist pedophile with a diaper full of shit says, nothing came out about me. Oh my God. This is why our country's over. You people did the same thing. You just spouted fantasy as if it were true. Now your country's over and your world. I'm sorry, son. All you can do is save yourself at this point. What I mean by that is not take the mark and walk the other way. That way you don't end up in the lake with him. That's all you can do at this point. There is no saving this. Nope. Done. I wish I was wrong, but I'm not. On the Epstein files, Elon Musk was also in there. So is your Commerce Secretary. I already read that. I don't know why I have it twice. Oh, no. Donnie gave a different answer. There's more context. That's what I'm giving you. That's why I put it back in here. And again, always when you add more context to a Donnie interview comment, it gets worse. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, there would have been major headlines. Well, there was. I mean, everybody was talking about all this stuff, and they're still talking about it. Looks like Nutlick's a pedo, too. Leon's definitely my God. And Nutlick acted like he was all disgusted by the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think so, Nutlick. This has been going on, and I've known about it for a while. I haven't really reported it because I can't tell you everything, son. Again, I got to work for a living. Ace of Spades. These people are so sick. They think they're in a video game. They think they're in a fucking movie. They're capping people, disappearing people, and leaving an Ace of Spades card in the fucking vehicle or wherever at the scene. Do you understand the level of sickness these people that they chose to be Gestapo? The most worthless wastes of oxygen that have ever walked this planet. You understand that, right? You understand if they hit your car, they may try and execute you. They've done this more than once. If they hit your car, they will pull you out of the car and try and make it your fault. You're a terrorist. You're a problem. Take you down the station, wherever. That's after they ruin your property and injure you. They might shoot you as well. They might just execute you to make the problem go away. And then they might leave an ace of spades card there. And you know what, son? I'm not even kidding, being dramatic, anything. There's a reason a legitimate congressman is up there. This isn't Bobo. This isn't Marge Green. This is real. And I've seen the reports of it for a while now. That's how sick these fucks are. ICE agents leaving behind death cards in the cars of people who they've detained is cruel for the sake of being cruel. We need an immediate investigation and total overhaul of this agency. No, we need to abolish that agency. Donnie needs to be impeached for a million different things you could pick. The cabinet needs to all be arrested. We need new elections, start over. Any candidate that has the slightest sympathy for Russia is not allowed to run. Bot networks are actually taken down by the websites that are taking the Russian money. Or they face prosecution. That's if we wanted to fix it. We don't. These are sick fucks. And again, all it takes, I've seen it twice. I've seen it once on video, and I've seen it with Miss Martinez. If they hit your car, they may execute you. They tried it on 2 people. One has 7 holes in him, according to one sociopath Gestapo destined to goddamn burn. And they might leave an ace of spades card after they kill you or kidnap you or whatever in your car or at the scene. Because it's all fun and games till that fire hit their ass. This is the stuff Donald Trump is telling you to just move on from. We're not. That's the Lincoln Project saying that. This is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Redacted. March 11, 2014. Thank you for a fun night. The littlest girl was a little naughty. Your littlest girl was a little naughty, excuse me. Again, that's what they're letting us see, son. Your littlest girl, they say. That sounds like a girl. That sounds like a legit child, not even teenage. To me, I'm getting that vibe from that message. I don't know about you. Rep. Robert Garcia to Miramar Martinez. The agent linked an article about your shooting and texted, I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes. Put that in your book, boys. It's our understanding that he was actually bragging about his aim shooting an unarmed American citizen, a woman. That's quite an achievement. You fat fuck. You shot an unarmed woman sitting in her car with her seatbelt on, who couldn't move. And you bragging about that? Does that take skill, you worthless waste of goddamn oxygen destined to burn? What's your name again? You fat cunt. Let me go back to that. Exhume? Charles Exhume, is that what it was? Or Charles Exum? Let's call you Exum. Charles Exum, you are going to burn hotter than coals. Unless you have some type of miraculous conversion. But I don't, Mr. Exum, mass murdering scumbag, waste of oxygen, destined to goddamn burn. And it doesn't matter what happens to me, son. I ain't afraid of the devil. I ain't afraid of you people. I know what my fate is. And I've resigned myself to it. I accept it. But you, son, let's talk about you, Mr. Exum. In other words, what I'm trying to say is I know one day you cunts will come and grab me. I expect it. And I'll decide how to handle that. In the meantime. And remember, I'm infinitely smarter than you people. Just remember that. Mr. Exum, there's a place called the Lake of Fire. You fucking cunt, and I wish I could call you what I want to. You mask-murdering scumbag who boasts of shooting an unarmed woman, my God. What fucking sewer did your worthless ass crawl out of? What fungus-ridden rock in some cave did your worthless afterbirth ass come from? Do you even know what the man will do to you? It gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking about what you have in store, son. Mr. Charles Exum. The lake awaits, son. Guaranteed for you. Oh, my God. The man who shoots an unarmed woman simply because his dumb ass crashed into her car figures he'll just execute the problem away and then boast of it later. Just like the cunt, the anorexic, worthless cunt, Christy the Gnome. She killed the dog and boasted of it, just like her. You're going to burn right next to that skinny bitch. That worthless bitch. You're going to burn next to your orange pedophile, too, that sent you out. Inevitable. Just pretend I'm Mr. Smith in the Matrix. It's inevitable. Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty, says redacted, because the Reich's job is redacting the names of the pedophiles that are like Donnie. Not solving the case, not locking up the bad guys, because the pedophiles are running the show. They'd have to lock themselves up. They ain't ever going to do that. One more time, I want to stress, if that's what they're showing us, imagine what they are not. I don't even want to know. I had 7 bullet holes in my body. I remember the agents rushing the nurses to finish up so they could take me with them. Mr. Exum, did I say you were going to goddamn burn? Did I say your mother should have never had you? These people ruined her property, injured her, tried to execute her, literally. They take her to the hospital. They're rushing the hospital staff so they can take her to what, a jail cell while she's bleeding? Worthless cunts destined for the lake. You tell me. Or maybe I'll sit by the lake and ask you why you burn. Hopefully you can focus enough to speak. Because the pain will be infinite and eternal. Hope you're prepared. Hope shooting this little Latin woman was worth it. They rushed me out of the hospital so quickly the blood started soaking through the bandages. Because that's the priority. Getting your, attempted murder victim into the, holding cell so they can charge rent to the government. Maybe you get your bonus that day. Right? Lake fodder? Unbelievable. They tried to kill this woman, then he's standing over her while she's getting medical help. Bleeding all over the fucking place with bullets in her. Evil is astounding. But all I think, as I read and it gets worse and worse and worse, I just think, what happens in my mind is the stack that's already against you of you suffering gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and worse for you. Because I know what the man's going to do. It gives me pause to think of what is going to happen to you. I would not want to be you, Mr. Exum. I knew from watching the news coverage of the other Border Patrol encounters in Chicago that I was in danger. I knew I had to get to safety. I looked down and I noticed blood gushing out of my arms and legs, and I realized I've been shot multiple times. Mr. Lou, again, look at him. And that's, again, Mr. Lou to you. Don't you dare call him Ted. You haven't earned it. Under her leadership, talking about Kristi Noem, the anorexic wonder, the Department of Homeland Security has killed a number of Americans. She needs to resign or she needs to be fired. And if not, impeachment proceedings need to proceed. Again, Mr. Lou just bluntly says it. I agree, Mr. Lou. And recognize. Donnie again with more context. It always gets worse, son. I think it's really time for the country to get on to something else. Now that nothing came out about me. Now that that's over. 38,000, son. And this orange thing sits there as if he's absolved on the side. And he says it out loud. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally by Epstein and other people. No, it wasn't. You're a pedophile. You're his best friend. You're a criminal. And you turned on your criminal friend and locked him the fuck up. So he was starting to turn on you. That's all. And it's funny, Mr. Epstein's the one that's dead under Donnie's watch. You notice Donnie's not dead, and Mr. Epstein is. The Epstein Files has an account. I didn't even look at the account name when I grabbed this. The Epstein Files has its own bloody account. I'm going to take a break for a moment. It's been over an hour and a half, and I did not intend to be on this long. I should be sleeping. Okay. Where was I? The more that comes out, the more you start to wonder if we even know the half of how sick these people are. Harvard professor Martin Nowak emailed Ghislaine in 2002 to thank her for her hospitality. Then, out of nowhere, I am so happy that I did not kill anybody. Let's check this out. Why was Martin's name okay to put not redact and others weren't? From Martin Nowak to Ghislaine Maxwell. Dear Ghislaine, many thanks again for your amazing hospitality. I am so very sorry I caused you so much worry and that I spoiled this day. The fuck did he do? I am so happy that I did not kill anybody. My perspective of life has changed somehow. Lots of love, Martin. What the fuck did he do? He's got the sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell worried, and he spoiled the day. That's how bad it. What the fuck did this guy do? And why is he saying, "Thank God I didn't kill anyone"? Jesus Christ! And then he ends the message, "Lots of love." Again, sick fucks. My God. Jesus. I didn't read this. I only read the opening and I figured it'd be good, so I grabbed it. Again, this is a world we can't imagine, man. This is a world we see in Stanley Kubrick movies right before he dies. This is a whole nother world that we ain't part of. My God, the things that go on. I don't want to know. Again, I don't want to know. I don't need to see it because I can guess. I've seen enough imagery in film. I've seen enough imagery in my mind from what I know. I know what these people are capable of. I know what they're into. I don't need to see it. Again, more context on the Epstein thing with Donnie. Speaking of Epstein, a reporter named Wolf and Epstein conspired against me in order to fight like hell to make sure I lose the election. That's the only thing that was mentioned about me. No, that wasn't Donnie. Where the bodies are buried was mentioned, and some other really horrific stuff. Something about judging girls that you auction off and how you did that. You took that down, Donnie. Again, he's vindicated in no way. It made him look a million times worse. And again, they have control of the files. Do you understand that? They chose to release what we saw out of what they had to choose from. So imagine again, son, what they don't want you to see. Because what I saw on the surface from the few people I checked in that analyzed, we talking about children buried on golf courses, shit like that, and much, horrific things. And when they took it down, that tells me it's true. Or they wouldn't have taken it down. It's something that slipped through. Someone let it slip through on purpose, obviously. And Bondi then realized once everyone screenshot it and talked about it for 3 hours, oh shit, I got to take that down. That wasn't supposed to get out. I'll describe it this way because I'm tired and I should have been gone by now. Satan. Think of the darkest, most evil shit you can think of. That's what's going on. Things that would make you vomit if you saw it. That these people are all about. And no, son, it's not the liberals and it never was. Your people. This is the French response. They have an account called French Response. That's for Leon and people that talk shit on France or want to direct things at France, and they come back. So Leon's commenting on the investigation. Leon's at the bottom there. Just a quick little. This is a political attack. Investigating child sexual abuse material isn't controversial. Turning it into political theater is manipulation. Maybe that logic flies on some island, doesn't fly in France. You know what you guys should have did? You should have just wrote Elon Musk is a pedophile. That would have been hilarious. But they said it in their own way. Like, we know you've been to the island, and we know the island has certain rules, and we got certain rules here that are a little bit different. Mr. Pedophile Scum. Verified now. Isn't that great, Leon? And we didn't have to pay $8. You love free money, Leon. You're the queen of welfare. You and Greasy Pete. Look at Mr. Oz. And every clip I see of him, I don't even listen to him speak. I just grab the clips, I look at the face he's making in the interview, and I can see the Satan within him, all over him. He is a straight eugenicist. He is Dr. fucking Mengele. And I know exactly what modern eugenics sounds like. And it don't sound like Alex Jones. It sounds like Dr. fucking Oz. Look at this man. There ain't nothing there, son. Nothing but the devil. What is he saying? Yet many of the people in these hospice centers, they have 100% survival rates. No one dies. They're not dying. They're fakely put on these lists as the fake doctor who sells snake oil. Fake TV doctor. You know what I hear here? I don't care what you say. I don't care what Gavin Newsom says. I don't care what this fuck says. You know what I hear? I want to help the dying die faster. So I'm taking money from dying people. Why do I hear that? Because that's what he's goddamn saying. And that's what's written all over his face. This guy's always angry on these interviews. You notice that? He has real contempt for you out there. It's the only way to be a eugenicist. You would have to have contempt for a good portion of the population. Literal contempt. All I hear is, I want to help the dying die faster. I'm a eugenicist. I want to take money from California. I want to take money from the dying for the Reich. That's all he's been saying, every comment he's made since this Reich started. This autistic thing, I don't know what it is with these people and the autistic people, but there's a reason it keeps coming up. And I know people think RFK gives a fuck about vaccines and autism linked to vaccines. I know there are right-wingers out there. There's a broadcaster that I like out there that's all in to that whole thing. RFK could fucking care less. He's taken every vaccine. Why did RFK want a list of autistic people? Why is RFK always talking about autistic people? Again, the broadcaster and the right-wingers, I know you think it's for a noble purpose. It is not. It has nothing to do with vaccines. It probably has more to do with a list of getting a list of autistic people across the country. They really about getting lists. You notice that? They want lists of voters from all the states. They want lists of this, lists of that, lists of autistic people. Why? Dr. Mengelaz again. Minnesota expected to spend $3 million for autism. It's now $400 million. Why? Because everybody in the community signed their kids up as though they're autistic. Yes, everyone just went down and decided to pull an autism scam. Why? You're paying them. These moms literally took bribes to lie that their kids have autism. Come on, man. This is how desperate the eugenicists are. Making arguments like this. I don't know why they targeted autism. That's the opener of the infirm to be targeted. They targeted the homeless. They will continue to. They are a form of infirm as well. Non-desirables. The infirm, the mentally ill, the homeless. That's how the eugenicists, the Nazis, see you. There's a reason the two main eugenicists that I've noticed, Oz and RFK, are always about this autistic shit. Either there's some prophesied child that's autistic that's supposed to save the world from these people, and they're trying to stop it or something. Or Christ comes back as an autistic kid. I don't know. Actually, that's not how it's supposed to happen. We're all going to see, and he comes in the sky, and no one will have to tell you. You'll know, you'll see. Or they just want to start with the autistic people, getting rid of them. RFK is an obvious Nazi and eugenicist. He's talked about locking drug addicts up in camps and making them work, even though he's a goddamn drug addict. But his name's Kennedy, so he'll be fine. You won't. That's Nazism. That's eugenics. That's what that man was saying out loud, and I knew it then when he first said it. This fucking Mengele's fuck. Every time he's on, he's talking about infirm people being people. He has contempt for the American population. He's an utter eugenicist. He's talking about how people aren't healthy. They should start working the second they get out of high school. They should work extra years on the back end when they're supposed to be retired. It would save us money, he keeps saying. Oh, you mean the money the Reich wants to fucking steal? Is that what you're talking about? You cunt destined to burn. I know they're Nazis. I know they're eugenicists. Every time Oz is on the news, he has contempt for all of us, as if we're some kind of drain on his money, because he wants to steal your money. And so does Donnie. This guy's always talking about these fucking hospice centers, dying people, sick people, autistic people, taking money from programs in America. You need to work more. You need to work past 65. You need to start working at 18. If we just start working a year earlier, it'll save this much money. If everyone just worked a couple years on the back end longer, it'll save this much money. Are you working, you worthless fuck? No, you're talking on television spouting eugenics in 2026. You fucking joke of a parody of a human being. Fuck you and die. Fucking joke snake oil salesman. Look, it's obvious to me. It may not be to you. I knew what RFK was a long time ago. I knew what this fucker was a long time ago, too. What you hear them talk about daily, every time you see their worthless fucking faces on camera, is modern eugenics. There's a reason RFK is talking wearables, and I want a list of autistic people. Gee, why would Nazis want lists of the infirm? According to them. Gee, I wonder why. Do we have any lessons from history that will give us the answer to this question? Yeah, it's called the Third Reich. Once again, the Nazi salute on Inauguration Day wasn't for fun, son. French prosecutors raided Leon Scum's offices. Scum is under investigation for the possession and distribution of child rape media, denial of crimes against humanity, automated data processing system fraud, AI-generated sexualized deepfakes, and organized crime. Wow, there's some serious charges, especially, what's that first one? Child rape media, and Leon ain't stopping it. He ain't taking it down. He loves it. It's part of his marketing effort. Marketing to the pedophiles like him. organized crime, sexualized deepfake, fraud. Man, they got some serious charges on this motherfucker. I don't know why you guys just don't shut it down. That's what I would do. And I wouldn't care what threat came my way. I would just flip the goddamn switch. Watch that bitch squirm. Just like the Brazilians did. Oh, you want to fuck with our country, Leon? Flip the switch. X is gone. Oh shit, what Vlad gonna do? What Leon gonna do? Their propaganda site that they spent billions on is now goddamn worthless in Brazil. Well, Leon ran right to the table like a bitch, paid them whatever they wanted, did whatever they wanted to get that shit turned back on. That's the only way you get that cunt's attention. And hey, Leon was banning all kinds of left-wing journalists for nothing the second he took the site over, and he'd laugh about it, make jokes about it. Flip the switch. Make a few jokes. And tell them we're just doing what you do, Leon. This is Reuters. The U.S. has sent a small team of troops to Nigeria. The general in charge of the U.S. Command for Africa said on Tuesday, the first acknowledgement of U.S. forces on the ground since Washington struck by air on Christmas Day. You mean bombed them on Christmas Day. Just say it, son. Christmas Day. Yeah, I told you they're Satanists, right? Right. So we got troops in Nigeria, more foreign wars. Roops, I thought you didn't want that. Oh, that's right. You never believed in anything. Never fucking mind. Wars and rumors of wars. Also prophesied. On the same day in which the French government raided the offices of X in France, the British Info Commissioner's Office says it has officially opened an investigation into Grok over its potential to produce harmful sexualized content of people, including children. France made the first move. The United Kingdom is following. Spain is following as well. Europe is coming for Leon. It's too late. You should have came for him a long time ago because he'd been fucking with your country for a while, trying to incite the same shit he incited here. You should have flipped the switch a long time ago. Now it's too late, but I'm still glad to see you taking action. Europe's making their move against Leon. It's kind of been written on the wall for a while. Leon gave them what they were looking for with the, undressing children online and him not doing shit about it. So now they're going to fuck him. And it could happen to a nicer guy, and I don't blame them, and they should ban the whole site in the entire EU and in Britain and in the United Kingdom. That'd be the smart move. And Leon will do whatever you want. He'll do backflips. He'll jump through hoops. Whatever you want him to do if you flip that switch. Forget all the investigations, all the bullshit. Leon Scum is an enemy to the European Union. Is inciting our overthrow. Is in league with our enemy Vlad, who wants to take us over. Switch flipped. That's all you got to say to the public. So many people hate Leon, they'll be fine with it. Totally. Back to Miramar Martinez. The government told the people they were targeting the worst of the worst. They are not targeting the worst of the worst. They are targeting individuals who fit a certain profile, who simply have a certain accent, a non-white skin color, just like me. Right, Latin people, yeah. Again, a year before the election, Mr. Cortez came to my live stream, and he was saying how great these roundups are going to be. And I said, wow, that's kind of funny coming from a guy named Cortez. I said, they could come grab you, son. The only thing they're going to have to go by is racial profiling. If you look Latin, they might grab you. Or they might cap you 5 times. Mr. Cortez didn't want to hear that. A lot of you Latin people voted for this. Now you are reaping the whirlwind. And your fellow Latin people that did not vote for it, well, they're really reaping the whirlwind. Thanks to you. Again, the cunt Antichrist says these things before he even gets in office, and you people hear it. And you just pretend he didn't even say it. And then you're shocked when a masked goon is grabbing you for bounty and shipping you to Texas. And then God knows where after that. Sea cot, who the fuck knows? Slave labor, who the fuck knows? Human trafficking, son, that's all this is. So racial profiling was the only way to do it, and I knew even back then with Mr. Cortez that that's exactly what they were talking about. Anyone who looks Latin. I've seen countless videos of people that are of Latin descent that are U.S. citizens that get harassed and got to show their ID and do the whole song and dance. That's the price you pay if you are unwise enough as a Latin man or woman to vote for your own roundups. We're at the end, and Leon Scum is doing his usual when he's under investigation for his literal crimes. He decides to insult people. I'm sure this will help with his case. The Spanish Prime Minister said, "We will change the law in Spain to hold platform executives legally accountable for many infringements taking place on their sites." Spanish PM Pedro Sanchez, "Starting next week, my government will implement the following actions." Good. And that's what he looks like. Where does Leon Scum go? Exactly where Donnie Shitbags, the pedophile, goes. Third grade insults. Automatically. Whenever you point out they're a pedophile, say you're going to find their website because you're an evil fuck, putting child nakedness and rape out there, and you're a pedophile on top of it. You've been inciting violence in our countries, trying to help Vlad overthrow the European Union with his puppets. You already helped him overthrow America. So we got to take action, finally. That's all that's happening. So, Leon, let's hear the big joke. Let's hear the big retort from the pedophile welfare queen. "Dirty Sanchez is a tyrant and a traitor to the people of Spain," and he put a pile of shit emoji at the end of that. Leon, are we in second grade, son? I know you haven't matured because you were a rich kid that grew up in a bubble who was probably abused by your dad in many different ways. But in what world do we think this is funny? Once we're over the age of, I don't know, 9. "Dirty Sanchez is a tyrant and traitor to the people of Spain," says the pedophile. Says the criminal who puts an AI out there that undresses children, women, whatever, online. And does nothing about it. In fact, uses it as a marketing tool for incels. Dude, you're lucky they haven't banned you or arrested you by now. I don't know what's keeping you out of prison. You do have the lesser blessing. I guess that's what it is. I don't know. You're still going to the lake, though, son. And calling him Dirty Sanchez, watch him flip the switch on your ass tomorrow. That's what I would. I wouldn't even go through this fucking charade with you cunt fucking traitors, with you cunt fucking enemies of the state. Leon, Vlad, all you, anything Russian would be gone from the European Union if I was in charge. All back to Russia. You guys love roundups and fucking deportations so much. Nothing personal. Any business Russian? No more. I wouldn't be doing business. None of that. Any internet bot networks? Russian? Nope. They've infiltrated all your countries. He's gotten political candidates in all your races, all around the world. I've witnessed this for 20 fucking years, this buildup. And every election, no matter what country it is, I'm so sick of it. It's the Vlad candidate who's the right winger, who the Christian conservatives of the country love. You know, the traitor to their nation who's probably a pedophile or something. Like Donnie. And then the liberal candidate. Every country, it's the same formula. A puppet of Vlad Putin or a liberal. Every race. God, that's sad. When would the world, at what point does the world get a hit and say nothing Russian anymore? We got to separate from that. No companies, no bot networks, nothing. No immigration, nothing. So Leon's being investigated. I expect some big moves from Europe regarding his website and fines and charges, and maybe they'll arrest his ass. Who knows if he steps foot. That'd be fucking hilarious. Leon's a criminal. Leon's being investigated for racketeering type charges, actually. Leon's being investigated for his AI that undresses children. Leon is a pedophile. X equals Leon is a pedophile. Don't take the mark. Have a wonderful evening.